All right, let's look at scatter plots. As I said during the vocabulary on Friday, a positive correlation is one where as your x value increases, so does your y value increase. So the correlation is as this increase, so does this other value. And as you see here, as we go towards a positive, if you can think of this as an xy plane, goes towards positive numbers, it's increasing. So that's a positive correlation. A negative correlation is as one variable increases, the other one decreases. So as I increase this way towards the x, notice how my y value is decreasing. So that's a negative correlation. And then a zero correlation is nothing, there's nothing in common, right? One event doesn't cause the other. Like as I increase in the x, it's kind of random on what happens in the y, and vice versa. Now we also have strong, moderate, and weak types of positive and negative correlations. Notice you would call this a strong correlation because it's very tightly grouped. It almost looks like a line, right? You would call this a moderate or a weak because it's a little bit more spread out, but you do see kind of a trend going on. This, of course, would be a no, just that's all scattered there. Don't worry about this one. And again, these are in a positive direction, and this is a negative direction. This will be my strong because it looks closer to a line. This one looks a little bit set up, but I do see a trend. So take note of how compacted they are, how more of a line they represent, and that should tell you the strength of the correlation. Now let's get into the calculator. How do you graph a scatter plot in the calculator? So you'll want to go to Stat Edit and then Edit. So Stats, Edit, Edit, 1. And you'll want to enter in some data. So I've already pre-entered this data here. Again, we're talking about two variables, so you need both a L1 column and an L2 column. Two variables. A variable on the x-axis and a variable on the y-axis. How do these two variables correlate to one another or have an association? So if you want, you can go ahead and copy this data down. I got my L1 as 0 through 7 and L2 with these numbers. Next, we'll want to hit second y equals. Above y equals, you see stat plots. So second y equals. Second y equals, and you'll want to turn one of these plots on. Well, let's just stick with plot 1. So at plot 1, hit enter, and yours will automatically be set to off. You'll want to turn that on. And then now, notice, if you hit graph, you won't see anything there, because these are very big numbers. It's going to probably be outside your window. So in order to contain these really quickly, you'll want to hit zoom, and then down here at number 9, zoom stat. Zoom stat. It's going to take your coordinates and to kind of make a XY table for you. So you hit enter, and there you go. Everybody get this?
After the zoom, where do we go?
Zoom, number 9, zoom stat. So if you're ever asked to sketch a scatter plot, here's how you can do it with the calculator and kind of also check your work. Next, let me draw my line of best fit or my regression line here. But first we need to figure out how to find the regression line. So you want to hit Stat Edit, enter the data. We've already done this already, but this should be your first step if you just need to find the regression line. And then Stat calculate number 4, linear regression. So let me bring out my calculator. Stats, edit, my data's there. So Stat calculate down here to number 4. Calculate my linear regression. You probably went through the steps when you were in Algebra 2 or algebraic reasoning. And then calculate. And what it does, it gives you your equation, y equals ax plus b, and then it gives you the values for a and the values for b. So my equation is going to be y equals 299.39x plus 6,508.75. Like so. That is going to be my line of best fit, my regression line. And if I were to go to y equals and graph that, so let's just say 300x plus, what was our 6508 graph? Does that kind of look like it fits my trend? Yep. Now, would you say this is a positive, negative, or no correlation? Positive, right? I see as these values increase, so does my y. Would you say this is a strong or moderate or low correlation? I would say it's pretty strong as well. Notice how close they are to my line of best fit. Next, actually clear your calculator. See if you can find this regression line. So if you want to know how to take away the values, stat, edit, and just keep on hitting delete. Like so. So here's your value. You get 2.89x plus 31.4, give or take. All right. So that's how you're going to find our regression line or line of best fit. Next, we're going to find the correlation. What exactly is that value? How strong it is. Our correlation is going to go between positive 1 and negative 1. The closer the number is to 1, the stronger the correlation. Does that make sense? Okay. So first thing you need to do is that your calculator really isn't set to do this calculation. We need to turn it on. So you're going to hit second 0, which as you see here is called catalog. Scroll all the way to diagnostics on and turn that on. So second 0 all the way down to D. I think you just jump real quick to D by going, let's see, alpha. No, that didn't work. So second 0. Where's the D? Okay, so by clicking the X to the negative 1, that'll take you to the D as you see the green number. And diagnostics on right here. Click enter and enter again. And when it says done, you're turned on. You only have to do this once unless you change the batteries or reset your calculator. Please remember to do this every time that happens. Otherwise, it's good to go. Now we want to go to stat calculator regression again, but this time it gives us more information, an R squared and an R. That R is our correlation. So as you see here, the one I calculated in this example was a 0.99. That's a very, very, very strong correlation. So if you were to do your data here, is this the same numbers? Okay, so calculate the correlation using these numbers. So same thing, stat, edit, number 4, linear regression. Now you'll notice that your regression has more information. Did you get 0.98? Would you say this is positive or negative correlation? Positive. Would you say it's strong, moderate, or low? Strong. Very strong. Yep. Okay. So that's how you're going to find your, right here, your regression line. This is how you're going to find your correlation.